24 months and 22 days. That's how long Ernest Shackleton and his crew of 22 men were stuck in the Arctic. The first 5 months actually went according to plan. It's the rest of the trip where shit hit the fan. I highly recommend you read up on his adventure. 156 months. 13 years, from an 18-year-old kid in Raleigh to a 31-year-old adult in Memphis. That's how long I've waited. That's how long I've wanted to go to Iceland. And though I got to go in October of 2022, it was absolutely not the way I wanted it to go. Every great expedition requires great gear. On my equipment checklist came one tool that was essential for my trip. My trusty Fuji X100V. Here lies the first thing that did not go according to plan on my trip. I went on this trip with my wife, Brittany. I had never planned to go with her. I never planned to go with a spouse. I had always talked about going with friends, from college to my best friend in Memphis, and then I thought to myself, I'll go alone. But I found myself in October packing my bags with Britt. I remember the feeling of being on the plane as we were coming down through the clouds into Iceland, and you couldn't see a thing. And I remember just being so excited. But as the plane grew closer and closer to the ground, the more fear I felt. Fear that this was not the trip I had been waiting for 13 years to go on. I've got some news for you. Less Lonely is leveling up with the Less Lonely Patreon coming in 2023. You'll be able to feel less lonely for $5 a month, for exclusive access to behind-the-scenes content, to the making of the Iceland project, more on that later, creative feedback sessions, and much more. Maybe even a little one-on-one creative brainstorming. Less Lonely Patreon coming 2023. The trip began in Reykjavik, which I learned is a starting point for a lot of Americans going on their first Iceland expedition. Day one, we're met with 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You'd stand in a spot, hold your arms out, and you wouldn't fall. You'd just be held in place. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 0 degrees Celsius, and jet lag. We didn't take a lot of photos. I hope you understand why. From here, we set out north to travel the whole ring road. And while I can't show you everything, here are a few selects taken with the X100V in Iceland.
We do anything to get the shot except almost fall in to a rapid. Car has been putting in the work. Oh, golly.
school, my best friend in Memphis, alone. This was the way I planned to visit Iceland. But the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. 156 months, 13 years, led me to 1.5 weeks in Iceland with Brittany. Hiking, running, freezing, stripping, and resting. A 13-year itch finally scratched. I'm gonna spoil Shackleton's story for you. He was stuck in the ice for 2 years. He had 22 men. All 22 made it back. His adventure did not go the way he planned. Now his adventure has been immortalized. Iceland was everything I never wanted, and I wouldn't have it any other way.